Close your eyes for a second. Imagine that the universe is breathing along with you. Each breath you take does more than just fill your lungs, it brings in energy, information, and memories from generations past. Now open your eyes and ask yourself, what if I told you there's a way to breathe that could change your energy, shift your thoughts, and lead you to a space of calm, clarity, and spiritual power? This isn't just another health trend or exaggeration. What you're about to discover is an age-old practice, known by wise individuals from the Himalayas, Taoist monks, and desert sages, and now, it's here for you. The 9-second breath isn't a modern idea, it's a natural rhythm that connects your body, mind, and the unseen forces around you. Though it may sound simple, counting to 9 while breathing in, holding, and exhaling, what occurs in those brief moments can completely alter the way you feel, think, and even your physical health. It's like tuning an instrument, but the instrument is you. We breathe every day, but most of us are unaware of how we're breathing. We often live in states of stress, exhaustion, or simply breathing to survive, without real awareness. But here's the important truth, the way you breathe shapes your experience of life. In this video, we're going to break down why 9 seconds is not random, it's a rhythm that holds powerful meaning. What did ancient civilizations understand about how breath connects to consciousness? How can you practice this technique to find more balance, intuition, and calm? And how can this simple action, done mindfully, help transform your life? You don't need any special tools, a guru, or complex teachings. You just need your breath and the choice to be present. If you've ever felt disconnected from yourself or overwhelmed by the pace of life, stay with us, because the answer isn't somewhere outside. It's between each inhale and exhale, and the only thing standing in the way is learning to count to 9. Long before science had instruments to measure oxygen, humans knew deep down that breath was sacred. It's more than just exchanging air, it's a connection between your body and soul. Across many spiritual practices, breath has been seen as the invisible link between the physical and the divine. In Sanskrit, prana isn't just air, it's vital life energy. In Hebrew, ruach refers to God's spirit breathing into us. In ancient Greek, pneuma is the breath that gives life. Even in ancient Egypt, the symbol for the soul was linked with air and wind. Breathing was, and still is, seen as a direct gift of life from the universe. Ancient sages understood this and developed ways to control breathing as an art form, like playing a subtle, sacred instrument. Breathing is not just a physical need, it's part of your spiritual growth. Over time, specific breathing methods with set timings were developed, based on the rhythms of the universe, sacred math, and the principles of harmony. The 9-second breath is a recurring concept in many esoteric traditions. In classical yoga's pranayama, breathing holds and pauses in multiples of 3 and 9. In Taoism, the number 9 marks the end of one cycle and the start of another, tied to the celestial, the divine, and new beginnings. In Sufi practice, certain zikr rituals follow a 9-phase breathing pattern to elevate the mind to ecstatic states of divine connection. Even in the Renaissance's Hermetic schools, the number 9 was seen as the number of initiation, as after 8, the symbol for infinity, comes 9, the step upward, the soul's ascent to its origin. The 9-second breath is no accident. It's a vibrational key that tunes your being to a higher, clearer frequency. Why 9? Because in sacred numerology, 9 holds all previous numbers. It represents completeness, the culmination of a cycle. Each round of the 9-second breath, inhale, hold, exhale, becomes a mini ritual of renewal. The ancient ones knew that controlling your breath gives you control over your mind, and by controlling the mind, you can silence the ego. And in that silence, it's not empty. It's pure presence. In that full emptiness, your spirit can reside. That's why these teachings were kept secret. They weren't just for relaxation, they were tools for transforming your very being. Now, you are about to remember what your soul already knows: every time you breathe, you have the power to return home. To understand the 9-second breath's power, we first need to stop seeing breathing as automatic. We should recognize it as a sacred act, a dance between body, energy, and awareness. When done with purpose, this dance can shift your energy, clarify your thoughts, and change your perspective on life. The 9-second breath is more than just counting. It's more than inhaling, holding, and exhaling. It's a key, broken into 3 parts, each with its own meaning and influence. First, the 4-second inhale. This is the moment you receive. You're not just taking in air, you're taking in life itself. You're inviting energy, prana, chi, the spirit, into your body's temple. The body expands, fills, and prepares. It's as if the universe is breathing within you. If you do this with full awareness, you can sense an invisible energy moving inside, like a spring awakening after a long drought. Next comes the 1-second hold. This is the most powerful moment, yet often overlooked. It's the instant where time stops, energy is still, and everything just is. This is where the magic happens. It's the moment when your body and soul align, when your heart's electromagnetic field stabilizes, and when your mind surrenders. It's the center of the spiral, the place where inner silence creates a miracle. It's where intention takes root. Any thought you have in this moment has greater power, more creativity. Then comes the 4-second exhale. This is the release, the letting go of everything that no longer serves you, consciously emptying yourself. It's the space where your body releases tension, heavy thoughts, and trapped emotions. The exhale completes the cycle, but it's not just pushing air out, it's an offering. A return to the universe. Thank you for what I've received. Now, I release. Practicing this cycle regularly helps you establish an internal balance. 4 seconds to inhale, 1 second to hold, 4 seconds to exhale. 9 seconds total, a complete, circular cycle. A rhythm that syncs your physical body with the unseen rhythms of the soul. Physiologically, this rhythm impacts your autonomic nervous system. It balances your sympathetic and parasympathetic systems, lowers cortisol, slows your heart rate, and boosts brain oxygenation. But something deeper happens beyond the body. Your mind starts to listen. The mind, by nature, is wild, it rushes to the past and jumps to the future. But when you give it a rhythm, like playing music, it starts following you, and in that following, you awaken the power of focus. Doing the 9-second breath isn't just about relaxing, it's about taking control of your inner world. It's telling your energy, I'm in charge. Let's go together. And something interesting happens when you practice this over a few days. The chaos around you doesn't affect you as much. Your emotions don't control you as they used to, and your presence becomes noticeable, both within you and to others. Because when you breathe with intention, you speak with clarity, act without haste, and vibrate effortlessly. Everything begins with the rhythm of 9 seconds. Now that you understand the structure of the 9-second breath, its 3 stages, its energy, and its physical power, it's time to look beyond the exercise and tap into the invisible force it activates. What makes this practice so powerful isn't just its ability to calm the body or sharpen the mind, it's how it transforms your inner space into a quiet sanctuary where your spirit starts to speak. There's something almost never discussed. This technique has its own intelligence. It's not a tool for you to control, but a flow that, when respected, teaches you to experience yourself in a completely different way. With each 9-second cycle, a gap opens between your thoughts, feelings, and expectations, and in that gap, something pure arises, a deeper voice, a sensation that doesn't come from your mind, but from your soul. After practicing for a few weeks, many people start noticing unexpected changes. Their intuition sharpens, they feel guided from within, their dreams become more vivid, and they experience moments of profound connection for no clear reason. This doesn't happen because the breath itself holds some mystical power. It's because, by breathing with intention, you begin to shift your inner state, like someone turning on lights in dark corners that have always been there but were unnoticed. What was asleep wasn't your body, but your attention to the sacred. Let's dive into the number 9 from a less commonly known energetic perspective. In many esoteric traditions, 9 represents the threshold of the awakened soul. It marks the end of one cycle and the beginning of another. In Kabbalah, 9 is linked to Yesod, the hidden foundation where the spiritual and physical realms meet. In sacred geometry, the Enneagon, a shape with 9 sides, symbolizes universal balance. Breathing in 9-second cycles is more than just counting. It's a resonance with the patterns of creation. But the true power lies not in the counting itself, but in the space between the breaths. This is where the magic happens. The essence of this practice occurs in the space that opens up when you stop resisting time. When you breathe in, as if receiving a gift. When you hold, as if listening deeply. And when you exhale, as if letting go of everything without fear. It's in this moment between the breaths that everything can shift. The past fades, the future stops weighing on you, and in that space, there's no drama, no urgency, no noise, just you and the present moment. In that moment, what many Eastern philosophies call satori happens, a moment of understanding that doesn't need words, a truth you can't explain but can feel. However, there are warnings, not because it's dangerous, but because this breath reveals what's hidden. At first, what might emerge isn't peace but anxiety. Not because something is wrong, but because you're clearing out the accumulated noise in your body. It's like cleaning an old jar, first, the dust comes out, and then the shine. The 9-second breath isn't a quick fix for feeling good. It's a process of remembering who you are without the distractions, without the masks, without the character. It's a prayer without words, a descent to the roots and an ascent to the spirit. And the most powerful part is that you don't need to do it perfectly. You only need to do it truthfully. Those who breathe with truth begin to live differently. Real change doesn't happen in big moments. It doesn't come with explosions or grand revelations. Real change happens in the small, consistent rhythms we choose daily. And while the 9-second breath may seem simple, it has the potential to become one of the most transformative practices you adopt in your life. But for its magic to awaken, it's not enough to just repeat it, you have to truly inhabit it. Here are some keys to practicing this sacred technique with awareness, depth, and sustainability. First, choose the moment with intention, not urgency. Don't treat this breath like a quick fix for stress. While it can help in moments of anxiety, its real power comes when you make it a daily bridge to yourself. You can practice it when you wake up, before starting your day, or just before sleep, when the world outside quiets down. Make that moment feel sacred, like your own personal sanctuary. Second, create a symbolic space. You don't need a temple or cave, just a candle, a stone, a plant, or soft music. What matters is not the object, but the intention behind it. When you breathe in a space you've consecrated, even symbolically, your body recognizes it. It knows you're entering a higher level of presence. Third, let your body guide you. Don't rush into the full 9 seconds right away. Start with what your body can handle. Maybe start with 3, or try 4-2-3. What matters most is the rhythm, not getting it perfect. Breathing isn't about following an order, it's about having a conversation. Listen to your body, adjust as needed, and let the practice come to you, rather than forcing it. Next, add a question. Right before you begin, ask yourself something internally, not for an instant answer, but to open a door. You could ask something simple like, what do I need to let go of, or where is my energy right now? Often, the answers won't come in words but in feelings, images, or quiet certainties. Conscious breathing helps awaken your intuition. Then, pay attention to the small changes. Don't chase moments of euphoria or deep enlightenment. Notice how, over time, your mind becomes clearer, how your reactions become calmer, and how you start to feel more grounded. The most profound changes don't happen right away, they appear gradually, like a seed sprouting in silence before it pushes through the earth. Use this practice at key moments. Are you about to have an important conversation? Take 9 seconds to breathe. Feeling creatively blocked? Breathe for 9 seconds. overcome by anger, sadness, or fear. Breathe. This practice can serve as an anchor, helping you center yourself when life feels scattered. And after each cycle, give thanks. Yes, give thanks. Whether you practiced for 3 minutes or just 30 seconds, express gratitude for the breath, the pause, and the awareness. That simple act closes the ritual, honors the moment, and prepares you for what comes next. Because in the end, what you're breathing isn't just air, it's life. And each time you breathe with full awareness, you choose to remember who you truly are. In a world that rushes, breathes without pause, and forgets quickly, taking a moment to breathe consciously is an act of revolution. It's a simple gesture, yet profoundly transformative, because you're not just inhaling air, you're reclaiming your place in the sacred rhythm of the universe. Together, we've uncovered the secrets of the 9-second breath, not as a trendy technique or an empty formula, but as what it truly is, a gateway, a path back to yourself, a rhythm that, repeated with intention, can reshape your body, mind, emotions, and spirit. You've learned that this breath is divided into 3 parts: inhale, hold, exhale. But beyond the physical, these phases represent something much deeper: receive, hold, release. These are 3 universal acts that define the dance of existence. We receive, we live, we hold, we die, we release. Each breath cycle is a microcosm of life itself. And when you practice with awareness, you stop merely surviving and start living with presence. You've also discovered that the number 9 isn't coincidental. In many traditions, it symbolizes the end of one cycle and the start of another. Breathing in this rhythm doesn't just calm your nervous system, it aligns you with a higher, finer vibration, one that's more in tune with your true nature. But the most important thing you may have felt, even if you can't quite put it into words, is that as you breathe this way, something deep inside you settles. It's as if your soul says, yes, this is where I belong. And here's the key: you don't need to do it perfectly. You don't need to achieve anything. All you need to do is return to it, again and again. Return to the breath, return to the body, return to the present moment. Because in that moment, there's no anxiety, no lack, no past. There's only you, whole and at peace. So, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you let it pass? Will you just say, interesting, and continue with your day as usual? Or will you decide your life deserves more than that? You can choose to make your breath a ritual, a prayer, a way of nurturing your energy, like tending to a sacred fire. With care, with respect, and with attention, because you don't need to change everything right now, you just need to breathe differently. And in that difference lies the possibility of a new life, one that's fuller, clearer, and more connected. So, I invite you to practice, to explore, and to make this breath your anchor amidst the chaos, a lighthouse in the noise. And when you do, when you're alone and you count to 9, remember this: you are awakening. You are remembering. You are coming home. Thank you for taking this journey with me. If this knowledge has touched your soul, share it. The world doesn't need more noise, it needs more people breathing with awareness. See you in the next ritual. Until then, inhale deeply, hold the moment, and exhale gently, as if letting go of everything to start anew.